TCIG X Spaces Highlights April 2025 Part 5.
There's only so many avenues to go when you're investing your money. There are a lot of options out there, but as humans, we are forced to invest in assets because we can't save our money in fiat. If you hadn't noticed by now, you lose 7 to 10% in USD to inflation, and it's a lot worse elsewhere. So then you invest in assets, and when you invest in assets, again, there's only so many things you can do, and a lot of people revert to real estate because, well, they think it's scarce, but scarcity in real estate is fake. They think the price is going up and it just accrues value over time, but that's also fake because that's just going along with inflation. And the currency that we price real estate in is just rapidly declining. You invest in assets and then you're taxed capital gains. So at the end of the day, yes, you may make out, but you really don't get away with much unless you're really putting in the work to increase the value of the property. So a lot of people just buy real estate because they don't have anywhere else to put their money and they don't want to save it in cash, so they need to put it somewhere else. You in the past would make money just doing that, and you can do that, but in the future, all things of value will decrease against Bitcoin and crypto. If you haven't looked at any of the charts against Bitcoin, they all go down. Gold/BTC, yeah, it's getting destroyed, and so is everything else. Really, the wealthiest people in the world before Bitcoin and crypto existed, they would just have large sums of cash that they could either buy bonds and then just accrue interest off of that, or they would put their large sums of cash in the large stock indexes, and you would make out pretty well because you could afford to just let it sit there, and there really wasn't anything else to put your money in. But stocks are fake too. Stock market's fake. It's influenced by humans that you depend on a CEO making a right decision, so the stock price will go up. For those of you that don't know, when a stock price goes up a certain amount, they issue more stock, so the supply goes up, and it's all about the supply. That's why crypto is different than anything else in the world as far as digital capital, is because it is basically the only deflationary thing that we have. Everything else contributes to inflation. So the only way to really protect your assets are to put them on blockchain. All of the traditional financial routes that you're taught, like putting your money in a 401k, that's also a scam. It's all a front to hold your money hostage. I was good at my job. I was really good at my job. I brought in numbers that they didn't see ever. So I wasn't a big corporate, and I could just imagine what I would feel if I was part of a big corporation. But even at that, as far as the raise, my first year I got an 8% raise. And, they said, oh, it's the largest out of the whole department. So, I was supposed to be thankful that I was getting an 8% raise. Then you realize that all of that is eaten up by that last year's inflation. It is a true fact that within the last 15 years, the USD has incurred 7.5% inflation every single year for the last 15 years. And it could be a lot more than that, up to 10%. So just that 8% raise that I got was completely eaten by inflation. And that's not even including cost of living adjustments, because then all the inflation inflates all the other prices. So basically you're going nowhere. You don't go anywhere. You just slave away and you obey the corporate brainwashing profit maximalism is that will only go away with decentralization. Decentralization enables everyone to participate, motivate, and innovate separate from the hands who run everything. Just like they're going to do soon, lower rates, and then they print a whole bunch of more money. When you understand the system, the people at the top, the 1% are politically connected. They're the only ones who benefit from more money printing. And that's why the rich get richer, and then the poor get poorer, because there's only a certain percentage of people who benefit from the fresh printing of money. A lot of plans to reverse the damage that fiat money printing has done to our economies and our democracy, that we don't have a say. You don't have a say. There's no process in which to, there's no energy put into the decision to print more money. They just go to a table and say, yep, we're going to print this much more money. And then there you go. The machines speed up a little faster, they print some more money, they waste more trees, they waste more ink, they waste transportation, the dirtiest, filthiest industry in the world. So money and power have been controlled by the few for all of mankind. And this is a time to celebrate a life that has been made possible for purpose and prosperity only by Bitcoin and crypto. People should stand up for what they believe in. There's too many people out there who get comfortable with what they're taught, and they just trust in that. In general, what they're taught about to believe about the world. A lot of what we know about the world is fake. And everything we know about finance, economics, physics, energy, politics, history, money, has been turned on its head because of cryptography, because of Bitcoin. This is centuries in the making. Bitcoin alone took 40 years to get to launch in 2009, and now it's 16 years old, so that's 56 years. People think it's so new, and it is newer, but the technology is not new. We've had a lot of digital currencies. With our Earth Day post, people just need to understand that everything of value that we exchange for money is just a digital input in a server, no matter what. So all of the arguments against the difference between physical and digital money, when you participate in digital money, you are helping the planet. It should be everyone's number one priority in life, in business, in family, in anything, is to have an environmentally forward-thinking mindset that we need to cleanse the earth of the damage that we have done. It is disgusting out there. Just the ignorance from people to disperse the power and money for the whole planet, not just you. I am very passionate on efficiency, the greatest path forward to help the environment. And we need to acknowledge all of this waste and fraud and corruption that has plagued our democracy for all of human history. So for you to participate in the digital economy, it helps alleviate the waste that we create every single day because of physical money. All that paper just sitting everywhere. All the resources it took to make it, to get it places, to go to the locations that it needs to be. All these wasteful ATMs. Replace all the ATMs with Bitcoin ATMs. Because when you take out money from an ATM, it's just a digital input on a server that then spits out a physical note for you to exchange as a medium of exchange. That is outdated. You can use any cryptocurrency as a medium of exchange. Right now, I can use my crypto to exchange peer-to-peer, decentralized, with anyone on the planet for the lowest fees of any other transfer at lightning speed with the click of a button. So Bitcoin is a silent revolution that waits on the sideline, and it will continue to take the spotlight forever. It removes the incentive for violence, which is what all the other fiat currency develops. You can keep ignoring it, but it'll still be here. We have never had something that doesn't depend on any human to function or manipulate. Bitcoin is nonpartisan. It doesn't care what party, it doesn't care who buys, who sells, it doesn't care. It doesn't care. It does not care. It does what it does, and it will keep continuing to do what it does forever. How about just the wasting capacity? Digital capital, you can hold unlimited capacity in your brain, not wasteful gold or fiat. I cannot believe people are so out of touch and they can't wrap their head around this, that digital capital is the future of the world. Find anything else that'll last 100, 200, 1,000 years. And talk about gold. I mean, just procuring gold, just getting it out of the ground, all the resources it takes to get it where it needs to go, mold it into the stupid ass bars. Totally unnecessary processes. It will replace billions of hours wasted every year for financial activities that are not needed anymore. All these financial activities, advising, will be AI. Yield bearing will be AI. All these AI agents will take over. Loan processes, DeFi. If you would know the amount of money that people make watching a number go from one account to the next, it would make you sick. People think or say that they don't have money to start, or I don't have money to invest. And okay, yeah, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. But when you break it down, anyone can start with any amount of money with a phone and an internet connection. And today you don't even really need an internet connection for some things. Stablecoins alone are a hedge against the inflation, with endless options for yield, that you can just hold stablecoins and you earn a yield that you would never earn in a bank account. If you really take a look at the things that you spend your money on, 9.9 times out of 10, there's something you can do without. There's something that you can adjust to free up little sums of money that you can put in each day or each week or each month into crypto. Kind of over that narrative too, because it's really just a choice. A crypto wallet is just replacing your bank account, so all the money that goes in your bank account could easily be going into a crypto wallet. It's just trusting it and learning about how to do it, basically.
Hop on the train and get on chain. Let's cut out all the noise and build together.